Hello, first graders, and welcome back to Social Studies with Mrs. Miller. In Lesson 10, we will be talking about the United States flag. Now, in our last lesson, we did speak a little bit about the United States flag as being one of our United States symbols. What do you remember learning about the United States flag? Can you name those things across your fingers? Ready, set, go. All right, eyes on me. I wonder if you said some of the same things that I said. I learned that the United States flag represents the United States. It's a symbol for the United States. It has 50 stars, and they all represent the 50 states of America. What else? Oh, the stripes. There are 13 stripes, and those represent the 13 original colonies. And I remember learning that the very first flag for the United States was made in 1776. That's when this country was first born. And what else? Oh, Flag Day is on June 14th. Wow, we sure remembered a lot about the United States flag. Today we're going to learn more. First, I'd like for you to listen to a very special song. This is a patriotic song. It's called The Star-Spangled Banner, or the National Anthem. You might have heard this song at perhaps a baseball game or a football game. So right now what I'd like you to do is pause this video, and up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see a blue button. I want you to click that blue button to listen to the Star-Spangled Banner. When you're finished listening to it, you can come back here so that we can learn more about the United States flag. Welcome back, everyone. Did you recognize that song? I bet you've heard it before. It's a really beautiful song. And the words or lyrics of that song actually talk about the American flag. You may remember in our last lesson how we learned that another name for the American flag is the Star-Spangled Banner. I wonder how it got that name. What thoughts do you have? Why is the American flag called the Star-Spangled Banner? Turn and tell somebody next to you. Ready, set, turn and talk. One, two, three, eyes on me. So you might have said something like, well, a flag is like a banner. Yeah, it is. And our flag is covered in stars, which is why it is called the Star-Spangled Banner. Now, when that song was first written, there were not as many stars as there are now because there were not as many states as there are now. But still, it was called the Star-Spangled Banner because the original flag had stars on it. Does anybody remember from our last lesson how many stars were on the original flag? If you remember, call it out in 3, 2, 1. That's right. There were 13 stars on the original flag because at that time, there were only 13 states. So what do people usually do when they say the pledge? Well, you probably know because we say the pledge in school every day. When people say the pledge, they usually stand up for the flag, face the flag, take their hat off, and they put their right hand over their heart. Can you find your right hand right now? I'm going to show you a trick for finding your right hand. Make your fingers into an L like this. Put your fingers out like this. When you're looking at your hands, the hand that makes a capital L facing the right way, this one, that is your left hand. So that would mean that the other hand is your right hand. So take your right hand Here, let's practice. Take your right hand. We're going to stand up, put our right hand over our heart. Okay? All right, now, if you're learning from home, you'll need this sheet, the Pledge of Allegiance Read Aloud sheet. We're going to use this now to say the pledge together. If you're learning in school, your teacher will give this to you. And I'll have it up on our screen too so you can follow along. But you should have your very own copy because you're going to need that for later on in our lesson. Okay, so our right hand is over our heart and we're going to say the pledge. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, you may be seated. So the Pledge of Allegiance has some very sophisticated words in it. So I thought it might be a good idea for us to go through the Pledge of Allegiance line by line so we could talk about the meaning of those words. What do you think? Are you guys ready for this? Give me a double thumbs up if you're ready to learn what the Pledge of Allegiance means. Okay, great. So I'll read a line and then I want you to repeat it. Okay, so I'll read it, then you read it. Ready? I'll read it first. I pledge allegiance. You read it. I pledge allegiance. Okay, so what does this part of our pledge mean? Well, a pledge is the same thing as a promise. Have you ever made a promise with a friend? Maybe you made a pinky swear and you said, I promise next time you come over, we'll play the game that you want to play, right? Or maybe you made a promise to your parents. Maybe you said, I promise I will clean my room tonight. Well, when you did that, you were making a pledge. A pledge is the same thing as a promise. A pledge is a promise to do something. Now, what does that word allegiance mean? Well, allegiance means loyalty. Say the word allegiance. Allegiance. Yeah, so it means loyalty. And loyalty, it's basically another word for love. So you're promising to show love or loyalty for your country when you say, I pledge allegiance. Okay, this next part says, to the flag. Now you say it. To the flag. That's right. And as we already learned, the flag, the United States flag, is a symbol for the United States of America. So when we say, I pledge allegiance to the flag, it's as if we're saying, I promise to show love and loyalty to the United States of America. And then this part says, of the United States of America. This is what our country looks like. So repeat this part. Ready? My turn. Of the United States of America. Your turn. Of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands. Your turn. And to the republic for which it stands. Now, what does that word republic mean? Republic. Well, that's another word for our government. So when we say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, it means that we're saying, I promise to show loyalty and love to my country and to its government. The next part says, one nation under God. You say it. One nation under God. Okay, so what does this part mean? Well, the word nation, say nation. Yeah, the word nation means country. right? So this is the nation of the United States. Do you see it in green here? And then it says under God. Now, as you can see in this picture, there are all different places of worship here. And that is because our country, the United States of America, was founded on religious freedom, which means that there are many different religions in the United States, and people are free to practice any religion that they would like. This next part says indivisible. That's a long word. You say it. Ready? We're going to say it slowly, and then we'll say it one more time faster. Indiv is able. Okay, let's say it faster now. Indivisible. Indivisible. What does that word indivisible mean? Well, indivisible means that it cannot be broken apart. So we are one country that cannot be divided, even though we have many different people with many different cultures. We come in all different colors. We worship in all different ways. We have all different ideas, but that's okay. We can have all of these differences, but still we are indivisible. We can't be broken apart. We stand united. We stand together. This next part says, with liberty and justice for all. Ooh, what does this part mean? Say it with me. Ready? With liberty and justice for all. Okay, so this word liberty, what does that word mean? Well, liberty means to be free. It means freedom. It's another word for freedom. And what does justice mean? Well, justice is another word for fairness. Have you ever heard somebody say, hey, that's not fair? Well, another way of saying that's not fair is that's not just, right? So when we say with liberty and justice for all, what we're saying is that everyone in the United States deserves to have freedom and deserves to have fairness. Everyone should be treated fairly, even though we are all different people with all different cultures and we all look so different from each other. We all should be treated with fairness, and we all should be allowed to live our lives freely. Okay, so now in order for us to practice saying our pledge and making sure that we know which hand is our right hand, I thought we could stand up and do a little movement activity. So would you please stand up, stand right behind your chair, push in your chair, and I want you to do the movements of this song, right hand, left hand.
Hello, my name is Michelle, and this rhyme is called right hand, left hand. Right hand, left hand, put them on your head. Right hand, left hand, put them all to bed. Right hand, left hand, put them on your chest. Right hand, left hand, put them all to rest. All right, here we go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Peekaboo!
All right, nice job, everybody. You may be seated. But once you sit down, I want you right now to raise your right hand. Go ahead and do that. Raise your right hand. This is my right hand. Can you raise your right hand? Awesome job. And your left hand. Where's your left hand? This is my left hand. Left hand. One more time. Right hand. Left hand, left hand, right hand. Awesome job, everybody. Okay, I have a book for us to read. It's called The Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance, written by Kristen Chang. Let's go through our table of contents quickly. The first chapter is what is the Pledge of Allegiance? Then a long history, then who says it? Then there's a glossary to learn more and an index. And if anyone would like to read this book on their own, it is available on Epic. What is the Pledge of Allegiance? Americans say the Pledge of Allegiance to honor their country. They stand and place their right hands over their heart. Saying the pledge shows belief in freedom. It shows belief in fairness. A long history. Francis Bellamy wrote the pledge in 1892. It first appeared in a kids' magazine. Interesting. What the pledge promises. It promises to honor the flag, believe in our country, everyone sticks together, everyone is free and equal. Later, Congress made it a symbol for freedom. So, do you remember how we learned about what symbols are? Yes, symbols are things that represent something else. So we talked about how songs can be symbols. Well, our pledge, something that we say, is also a symbol. And it's a symbol of our freedom. Since then, it has changed a little. New words were added. Who says it? Americans say the pledge to respect the flag. Lawmakers say it at meetings. People say it at schools. The pledge tells us we live in the land of the free. All right, now it's time for you to do some activities. So you should have this sheet, the Pledge of Allegiance that we read aloud. You should have this in front of you. Again, it can be found in your Google Classroom if you are learning from home, and your teacher will give it to you if you're learning in school. Now, if you don't have it already, pause the video here and go off and get this sheet that says the Pledge of Allegiance. You'll need this along with this writing activity sheet and this flag. You'll need all three of these. So if you don't have all three, get them, pause the video, get them now and come back. Okay, so now this is a writing activity. This says, what does the Pledge of Allegiance mean to you? We learned all about the Pledge of Allegiance. Look back at this sheet. This sheet is our Pledge of Allegiance, and it has pictures to remind us of what all of those words mean. So use this sheet to help you to write your response here. What does the Pledge of Allegiance mean to you? Now, I want you to think before you write, what does the Pledge of Allegiance mean to me? Would you please turn and tell somebody near you? If you're at home, you can tell someone in your house. Or even your imaginary friend. If you're in school, you can tell someone sitting next to you. Ready, set, turn and talk. What does the pledge mean to you? The Pledge of Allegiance. Eyes on me in 3, 2, 1. So maybe you said something like this. This is what I was thinking the pledge means to me. I thought to myself, the Pledge of Allegiance means to me that I am making a promise to show love and loyalty to my country, that I will respect everyone in my country and treat everyone with kindness and fairness, even if they are different from me. Now, once you are all finished with your writing activity, this activity sheet here, once you're all finished with that, if you have time left, you can color in this flag. Okay, you can take a look up at, if you're in your classroom, you can take a look up at your flag to make sure that you know what colors go where. If you are at home, then you can take a look at this sheet here to help you. Shows you that the stars are white, the background behind the stars is blue, and then the stripes are red and white. Thank you so much for learning with me today. You did an excellent job. Keep up the great work, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye, everyone.